Let's roll. This is Countercharge, your podcast for ranks, flanks, and kings of war. Join your hosts as they delve into the world of Panithor and bring you worldwide coverage of all things Kings of War.
Welcome to Countercharge. I'm Dylan Scribner.
And I'm Ralph Knife, and we're super excited, Dylan. We're going to take a stab. We're going to try and build a couple lists that have been previewed. We've got a Salamander list that's been previewed and a Goblin list, and we're going to make a go, and we're going to see if we can get us some competent armies. And then maybe with the bits of scrap information that's been pumped out, maybe we'll be able to actually play a game in the near future. But tonight, we're going to focus on building a list. And obviously, Dylan, you're a longtime Salamander player, and I'm going to try to play some Goblins. But before we get to that, you've been listening to all the interesting things that have been leaking out. What are your thoughts on 4th edition?
I'm pretty pumped. I have full faith in the rule set. I do have some list concerns, and I do see some valid concerns online. But overall, super positive. I'm excited.
Is there anything in particular that you want to highlight that you think, oh, this is really cool? Like, this is the coolest thing about 4th edition?
Well, list construction for me, I think it's going to fundamentally change how outsiders view the game, like non-Kings of War players. I think when they get shown that, I think that's going to really stick out to them.
So we're going to try and build a Goblin list tonight, and we'll build a Salamander list, and we'll see where we get. Dylan, I took my Michigan GT Goblin list, and at face value, it's not going to work the way it works. There's a lot of things in it that were unique units, like the Goblin Horde, like the Special Mobbies pack. So there's a lot of things that are not actually in the game anymore. So I was originally going to just try to convert that list. I don't think that's going to work. There's also no troop of mincers anymore. So I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to work our way through and just build a list. I think I need 2 battalions. Honestly, the core is so cheap that I don't know how you wouldn't need 2 battalions to get to the more juicy stuff. So you ready to give this a go?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you look at the Goblin list, there are 5 core units. You've got Sharpsticks, Rabble, Fleabag Riders, Spitters, and Lugga Gang. Now, straight up, I don't have any Spitters painted, and I don't have any Fleabag Riders painted because Manti still hasn't given me any sweet models. So I'm thinking in my head, like, and maybe I'll bounce this off you and you can tell me if I'm crazy, but if I'm planning to go for multiple battalions, that means I have to have a minimum of 4 core in this battalion before I can move to this, and the hero, before I can move to the next one. So I think I want to start by trying to get 4 core in this battalion. What are your thoughts on that?
You have to, right?
Well, if I want a second battalion, I do. But I mean, I guess the other game is I could take more as well. The way it works is 4 core would get me 4 specialists. And then every 2 core/specialists gets me a support. But support locks out at 4.
Right.
Theoretically, if I want 4 support, then I need to have, maybe I'm talking myself out of it. I need to have at least 8 combined specialist and core. I guess that's where we start. I want to get 8 of those units, and Sharpsticks are on the table, Rabble are certainly on the table, and Luggett regiments. And I should say troops of Luggett gangs are auxiliary, so that wouldn't work. So I've got to have regiments. We should mention, in terms of specialists, you've got Mobbies packs, which is interesting because the troops are 80 points. So those would be cheap ways to maybe unlock more of the support units. That's interesting. There's Fleabag Rider Sniffs. I don't have any of those. Fleabag Chariots. I do have a regiment of those. Maybe I could play those. I don't have Trolls, and that's that, and then we'll get to support. So, all right. Well, let's give this a go. I think what I want to do is try to do 4 core, and then maybe 4 specialist, because that way, model-wise, I could use more core in the next battalion, right? So Let's just start with this. Let's start with 2 Rabble, and that's going to be 160 points because they're 80 points a regiment. By the way, 80 points for 2 unit strength? Not bad.
It's a steal.
I think that's going to be the play that's going to have to probably get fixed at some point, because I think armies like Goblins, I assume Ratkin, Scarecrows, I think those kind of cheap units. Now, not all those probably unlock, though, right? Zombies don't unlock in the regiment, right? You have to take a horde, I think.
I think the troop and regiment is auxiliary.
So we'll take 2 rabble. Let's take 2 sharp sticks because, hey, phalanx is super, super, super tasty.
Oh, yeah.
Make the unit charging you in the front that's cavalry, large cavalry, or flyers hindered.
-1 to hit, no TC.
All right, so we're going to take some sharp sticks. We'll take 2 regiments. And, this is the thing I wanted to bounce off. Hordes versus regiments. They unlock the same, but there is an argument to be made that, like, hey, a rabble horde is only 130 points. And you are doubling the unit strength. So I don't know. Like, part of me wonders if I should try to squeeze one of those. What are your thoughts on that?
I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know that you need the hordes for goblins with this unlock system the way it is. Because you could definitely get 3 battalions if you were just doing like the infantry regiments of rabble.
All right. Well, let's do 2 regiments of rabble. That's 160 points, and 2 sharp stick regiments. That is 180. That's my core. Let's switch over to the specialists. And why not? Let's take a regiment of Fleabag chariots. So that is going to be a big whopping 140 points. 140 points for 12 attacks with Thunder 2 and Vicious and Brutal. I don't know that that's terrible. I mean, it's also speed 9. What are your thoughts on the chariots?
140 points. Speed 9, 140. Brutal TC2. I mean, that's a pretty good 140 points. If you have it, if you have the regiment of chariots, I mean, it definitely won't hurt to try it.
All right, we're gonna try to be chintzy on this and sort of like kind of game it a little bit. So I've taken the chariots. Cool. There's a regiment. We're gonna take 3 troops of maw beasts.
Okay, I love chaff.
So that's 80 points times 3. That's 240 points. All right, and so for those keeping track of score, I'm only at 720 points, and I have maxed out my support.
Yeah, you get 1 of each. You get a character and a support for every 2, right?
Because I've got 8 combined core and specialists. I can get 4 characters and 4 support.
Yeah.
Having Luggets in core is chef's kiss. I'm a Lugget junkie. Like, I was already playing Luggets. So you're just going to let me unlock with Luggets? Yes, please. Now, I will say the standard bearer not having Strider is a big punch in the googlies, right? Because, I mean, you're hitting on 4s and now I'm hitting on 5s.
I don't know about the standard bearers. I wonder about their usefulness.
But you can give them a magical artifact, and commands are pretty sweet, and they can cast them too. The commands. Direct Misfire went over them, did a great job, but, Unleash the Maw Pups. Basically, it's a new way to give a unit Maw Pups, which now it's 6 attacks. I think it was 5 attacks before, and they always hit on 4s with Crushing Strength 1. You standing on me, Ed.
You standing on me, Ed.
Infantry, large infantry, and cavalry units only. The unit gains the Leaper special roll. Now, this one makes me smile because if I had troops of Luggets behind like a horde or a regiment of something, and they could jump into combat, that would be pretty sweet.
Well, what is the height of Mincers?
So let's talk heights. Infantry's height 2, large infantry's 3, cavalry's 3, large cavalry's 4, chariots are 4, monsters are 5, and war engines are 2. So let me go back to my goblin list. Wah, wah. They're height 4 now because they're chariots.
I just thought they had height 3 in their profile.
I think the only ones that have a deviation are swarms, which are large infantry now, but are only height 1.
Right.
Well, with that unfortunate information,
Trolls can still charge with Fleabags.
Let's go look at what's available. So let's just talk through this. We got Wingets, we got Goblin Blasters, Mincer Mob Regiments, Giants, Goblin Slashers, Sharp Stick Throwers, Big Rocks Throwers, Trombones, Maw Pup Launcher. One of the things that jumps out at me is War Trombone is yielding now. So they have separated yielding from the individual special rule, which is pretty cool. So Kyle Poole is crying tears because he used to use the trombone. He would just stick it up in someone's grill and go, "Ba-ba, here's 10 shots," and then you got to get through them. You can't do that anymore because they can just ignore you. So I guess my question to you is it worth taking shooting, you think, in this? Because look at the War Trombone. 12 attacks on 4s, but if you stand still, it's 3s. with 12-inch range and piercing 1.
Oh my god.
So on defense 5, that's like 4 wounds.
And they got 2 attacks back.
That's what I'm saying. They're at 12 attacks. Now, the reality is you might not be able to get them standing still because you're duking and diving, but I don't know. Is it worth those?
I don't know. I'm looking at the mop-up launcher.
Okay. So mop-up launcher's got 3 attacks that shoots on 5s, but it has the reload rule, which means it can't move and shoot. So it's got to get a halt. So it's always going to be hitting on 4s.
Yep.
36-inch blast D3 with indirect, which means you can't shoot within 12 inches. Shattering D3, all the same. And then this one, they look so cute. The unit may target a friendly unit with the Green Horde trait. It used to be it gave them mop-ups, but now you just got vicious. But you could give vicious from the mop-up, and then the command could give them the dogs. That's pretty sweet, dude. And I could take 2. What do you think on that?
You can't do that and shoot.
Yeah, well, you can't give vicious to another unit and shoot the enemy at the same time.
85 points is a lot of points to just give a unit vicious.
The way I've used it in the past is we shoot chaff, right? Like the defense 4, defense 3 stuff, and just. But in this new world we live in, most chaff's going to be what? 12? To get them off the table, you got to devastate them.
With the flexibility of withdraw, though, you're going to want to remove chaff even more than before. It may be good, like early game, trying to clear some chaff.
Are you like poo-pooing the shooting or what?
I feel like big rocks throwers are your way to crack defense.
But they hit on 5 standing still.
I mean, they hit on 5s anyway.
Let's go look and see if we get any bonuses for lobbers. I don't think we do. Let's see. Okay, so it does. Oh, I remember now. It changed. So the Wing It now says, Eye in the Sky. Choose one friendly unit with the lobber trait. It gains the elite range special rule for the turn, which is kind of cool in a way because you don't have to pick a target, right? Because before, you'd pick an enemy unit and then all the lobbers could shoot it and be elite. And
you don't have to be within a certain range of it.
Right. You used to have to be within 24 inches of the unit you were targeting. I don't know, guy. I'm thinking here. I don't know. Mincer mobs are still freaking good, dude. I've only been playing the troop because it was in the formation, and the troop is pretty dope, dude. So Mincer mob D6 plus 21 attacks on 4s, 180 points. I mean, that might be a strong unit to get the J boots.
For sure.
They have TC1. The problem is they're speed 5, so they usually get charged. They don't usually get the charge.
Yeah.
Or we got Giant is another option. Sharpstick throwers aren't terrible. They're going to hit on 4s. 2 shots on 4s, but you're going to take all the cover penalties. And I should have mentioned, I believe indirect means you also don't take cover.
Indirect is ignore cover now.
So, like, the big rocks throwers and the mop-up launcher have that. So that's cool, but... I mean, what do you think? Should we just go combat-y? If we want to go combat-y... Well, you know what? Let's take a break. Let's go look at the heroes and see what we got. Because we got hero spots. Maybe there's a hero that changes composition. And maybe that'll throw us a bone. I don't know. Well, I see Wiz right away. And for 55 points, he seems like a bargain, dude. Because he's got spellcaster trait, he can take any of the arcane library spells.
Yeah.
In addition to the ones that he's already got. He's a champion, so he has unit strength 1. Warlords have unit strength 2.
Oh my god.
And here's the thing. I think that's what we haven't given the whole story. So people are like, oh my gosh, the champions are so expensive. Yes, they get the commands. They get the unit strength. All right. So we got Wiz is a good option. The Troll Bruiser, 160 points seems a little bit steep for me.
That is a little steep.
Flag it. Basically, for 60 points, you have Very Inspiring. And you can give him a magic artifact. But the loot's gone, so I don't know what you give him.
The flag, he doesn't even have Very Inspiring.
You're right. He does not have that anymore. The Sting It. Oh, look at this. We got to go bang it, don't we? Incendiary. When this unit is routed in combat, each enemy unit that attacked it in combat this turn suffers D3 damage. No nerve test is taken for damage suffered this way. And he's got
3 shots of blast D3.
From 12-inch range and piercing 1. So he's kind of like a mini baby. He doesn't have vicious, but he's like a baby Wing It, right? But he's slow, though. It's only speed 5.
Yeah.
Wait, let's look at this guy. Okay, wait.
Oh, you got to have that guy. You got to put that guy in your
Black
list.
Claw. He's unique, so you can only have 1 in your army. He is a speed 5, melee 4, shoot 5, defense 5, attack 5. Nerve 14 and 165 points, but you get Crush 2, Headstrong, which now it's a 4, right? I mean, let's be honest, there's not as many opportunities to get wavered, so it's not quite as big a deal. He's height 3, Inspiring. He's got the mop-up cannon, 18-inch range, blast 2, piercing 1, vicious ranged.
So every hit is 2 hits.
Correct. So he's got 5 attacks on. 4s if he's standing still.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that going to be? About 3 hits, 2 to 3 hits. So, and that becomes 5 to 6 hits, right? Or 4 to somewhere in that range.
Yeah, and he has the Lobber trait, so Wing It can give him elite.
Interesting. Let's check out the Warlords. I'm just curious now. The Bigot. He's got Rallying. To be fair, he's only 105 points. And I say that knowing that all the other heroes are really expensive. Then we got the King. I have taken the King on a Chariot before, which is right down here below. And he's 145 points. He still has 7. Oh, he can't shoot anymore. What kind of crap is that?
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good. But he is elite. He is Crushing Strength 1, Thunder 1, and Inspiring for 145.
If they moved the King on Chariots melee to 3+, if they were taking his shooting away, that would make more sense.
Well, okay, so the regular King, any rabble, sharpstick hordes in this battalion may upgrade to a Legion. Fine, I'm not doing that. Mount on a Fleabag, increase your speed to 10. I'm not taking any hordes, and I'm certainly not going to upgrade him to Legion, so I don't think that's anything. Okay, now this is something. Kuzlo and Madfall, he's unique, but he's 160, but he still has kind of interesting. He doesn't have his Ensnare anymore, but he doesn't have his special dread. He has actual dread now.
Yeah.
But other than the Luggets, I don't have a lot of brutal in the list. Interesting. And then we got Grony Snark. I mean, Grony Snark's Grony Snark, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all right, Grupp Longnail. I think they did her dirty. 4 attacks. I want to say she had 5 attacks before, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was 5. She is still hitting on 3s, though.
She has a snare.
13 nerve. I want to say she was maybe that. Maybe it was a 12 nerve. I'm not sure. Oh, look at this, though. She's a spellcaster.
Well, yeah, she has Hex and Lightning Bolt. That's good.
That's new. Drain power. Basically, you punch somebody with her and do a wound, and now they're weakened against you.
She's expensive. She's really good.
Is there anything I'd want to take as a warlord? Or do I just want to be cheap and just throw as much unit strength on the table as possible?
These are hard questions to answer. I haven't played a game yet. So.
Yeah?
My first instinct would be, yes, unit strength is key. But I haven't seen the scenarios. I don't know what the rules are.
I've got 8 units, and I'm currently at unit strength 13, FYI.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Well, let's make a go of it. If I'm reading this right, I could take 4 whizzes.
Yeah. I mean, the rule of 3 is gone, right?
Yeah, there's no rule of 3. If they only wanted you to take 2, it would tell you limited 2. And each of them would have a command. Okay, let's do that. We're going to take 4 whizzes. What? Come on. They're only at 55 points a pop.
Well, what spells you taking?
Option 1 is Lightning Bolt. So we should talk about magical missiles, though. They take all the modifiers. Individual, stealthy, cover. So I also think if you stand still, then you get +1 to hit. So, do I want Lightning Bolt? Or maybe Bane Chant would probably be the better play here, right?
Do you want anything from the Arcane spell list?
I mean, Scorched Earth's pretty sweet, dude. Blood Boil?
I think you want one with Alchemist Curse. Does it do the same? Does it do a similar effect?
Add the target's defense value to the end value of the spell.
Well, Goblin's problem is always defense 5 and 6, right? As far as like breaking through.
You're absolutely right. Combat hitting is what I need, right? Essentially, I either have a unit that cracks the nut with Crushing 2, or I've just got to hit them with as much as I can over the course, have so many units that I can just throw in stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a basic strategy, but as far as having Rabble Hordes, your Rabble Hordes absorb that initial charge, and then you can withdraw them to allow Luggett regiments and Mincer Mob regiments to make the double charges. Because now you have no fear. You can get that horde completely out of the way, right?
Yeah, or even if you just put them butt to butt, so I bump into me and I don't clear it, then I automatically clear it and I'm wavering. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. All right, so you're saying we should go back and rethink things a little bit.
I mean, you were already doing Luggets and Mincer Mobs, right?
Yeah, but if you're going to do that as a second wave, I think you take Luggett troops.
Oh, troops? Yeah.
Right? Because you're getting 15 attacks versus 20.
Are they core or specialist?
They're auxiliary. The regiments are core. So we could, to your point, just thinking in my head, Sharpstick Horde is 145 and a Rabble's 130. Am I taking Rabble or am I taking Sharpsticks?
Phalanx for 15 points.
It's kind of a no-brainer, right?
It's +5 attacks and 15 points. I mean, and Phalanx for 15 points.
All right, so let's just scrap what we were doing. We're going to start over. So we're going to do 2 Sharpstick Hordes. What do we think?
I love it.
Because I was also looking like I was going to have a hard time getting into 1,000 points on 1 battalion. Because most of the support units aren't that expensive unless you're taking the giant or the slasher, something like that, right? Or the 180 point Mincer Mob regiment. So 2 Sharpstick Hordes are 145. So it's basically 290. My math right?
Yes.
It's 290, and that is going to be 8 unit strength. That's the key, though, right? Yes, you're not unlocking extra stuff, but the unit strength's doubling over the regiment, so you're getting a discount on unit strength. All right, so I did that.
I feel like that's such a mistake.
So now let's go balls to the wall here, bro. We're gonna go 2 hordes of Rabble because why not?
So now you're 2 and 2.
So that's 260 points, and that's also 8 unit strength. So all right, 4 units in, I got 16 unit strength, bro. Because those used to be unit strength 3.
Yeah.
For support, I think we could probably still. I don't know, those Mobbies packs, dude. They could play that role too, right? Because they have. Well, actually, I don't know. They only have 6 attacks on the troop. Crushing 1, vicious. 6 attacks on hitting on 3s. That's only going to be 4 hits.
Yeah. That Mob Ace pack, those are the units that are going to go in and take enemy chaff out in combat and then absorb the charge. Or not absorb it, but take that first charge.
So let's do this. I know I like the flea bags, right? We got the flea bag chariots, right?
Yeah, regiment. Yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be a unit strength 2, and he's going to cost me 140 points. I only have 1 of those, so it is what it is. So now, 3 troops, or maybe 2 troops in a regiment of the Mobbies?
I would just keep them in troops.
That's 3 more unit strength.
Because that's all you can have is 3. If you have a Fleabag Chariot regiment, you can have 3 Mob Ace packs.
Correct, it's only 4. So that's going to be 80 times 3, and so that's going to be, 240 points?
240.
So I'm at point-wise 900 points, 930 points. I'm at 21 unit strength, and I've got 8 drops so far. Okay, so now we're going Wizzy Whiz, right? Wizzy Whiz. Whiz times 4.
I think you do Grub and 3 Whizzes.
Okay, so we're going to do 3 Whizzes. They're normally 55 points a pop. What spells are we giving them? Let's look down here. So we've got... So do you think we want to be nasty and take Alchemist Curse?
I think 1 needs Alchemist Curse.
All right, so I got 1 with Alchemist Curse. Alchemist Curse 2 or 4?
That would be a end of list decision.
Okay.
I think you put 35 points on him right now, and then if you have 10 points at the end.
So that means he's going to cost 90 points. Alchemist Curse 2. The next whiz. Oh, we got Banechant 2 for 20. So that means he's 75 points. And then we're going to do Weakness 2 for 15 points. So, man, that guy's a steal. 70 points. All right, and you said Grup Longnail. Because she is badass. I do like her quite a bit. And the model is fantastic. That Sorokin, the Street Fighter pose. All right, so she's going to be my big bad warlord. I just want to see how many points she is.
185.
185 points. Unique units cannot be given artifacts.
That's a bummer.
Right now, just for those at home, 1350 is what I've spent. I have 26 unit strength and 12 drops. To be fair, there's 20 scenarios in 4th edition, and they're not all based on unit strength. But
yeah,
that's pretty cool. And 12 drops. All right, we got to add support. Let's do some support.
We don't even have support.
Who cares that I don't have it? What if we went with 4 regiments of Mincer Mobs?
That's the list I would build.
You're dirty, so 4 Mincer Mobs chariots.
I don't even know if it's good, but...
So that would be 4 times 2 unit strength. There's regiments, so that's only going to be 8 unit strength. But that's going to be 180, what is that, 720 points?
Yeah.
That's a battalion, and I'm at 2,000 points. So that's a lot more than I was expecting, guys. Let's start another one. But I'm at 34 unit strength. That's pretty good, right?
I would say so.
All right, so let's build a second one. I think this one, we got to keep things cheaper.
Yeah, I think you just drop 2 regiments of rabble and pick another warlord.
I don't have any Luggets in this list, bro. We got to just go ahead and, rather than that, we need to take some Luggets, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, just fill out the 1 battalion.
The regiment's 150 points. We'll take 2 of them, Lugget. That's going to be 300 points. All right, so that gets me to 2370. So I have 130 points for another character. So let's go to the list. And this might suck balls, by the way. I don't know. I mean, if you pay pillage, I like my chances.
You have 4 defense 6 combat regiments.
Troll Bruiser, Flaget. What about, do we want to take some Bangets or a Banget?
You have enough points.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty sweet too, right?
Yep.
He would be 95.
Oh, we didn't take the cool guy,
A Grunk.
Yeah.
Let me add him and see what we got. So if we take 1 Grunk, he is unit strength 2 because he's a warlord and he's 165 points. We'll probably have to drop something down. I'm at 25, 35. So maybe I drop a Whiz? Or maybe I drop one of the mincer mobs and turn that into something else. So I'll go to 3 there. That drops that to 6. So with that, I'm now at so now I still have 150 points. I could.
That's a Luggett regiment.
Sorry, 145 points. Yeah, but it is a Luggett regiment. If I went, let's just do that. If I went 3, and I said so that's 450. I'm at 2505. Where could I squeeze 5 points? I don't have any artifacts on here. I remember I took 4 hordes. Do I break those up into maybe take 1 horde of each?
Keep the 2 sharpstick hordes and turn 1 rabble horde into a regiment.
Okay, so we'll do that and that. So that becomes 4. And that's going to be 130. And that's going to be a regiment. And that's going to be 2. And that's 80. So with that, I still have... Was that right? Yeah, it says I have 35 points left.
Yeah, you should have came out positive on that.
So I'm at 2455 right now. Oh, I'm down to 36 unit strength, dude.
Whatever are you going to do?
I honestly don't know in the game. I assume it's good, but like I imagine there's other armies that lean more into it.
If I know anything about the TO community, we're probably going to be heavy on unit strength scenarios.
Yeah.
If my thought process is like correct on which of the scenarios are based on unit strength. Again, I haven't seen the list of scenarios, so I'm not real sure.
Another idea. Do I really need 3 troops of mobbies? Do I only want to do 2?
You'd have to put something else at 80 points in its place.
Yeah. And to be fair, I still technically have another spot for another support in that first.
How many points do you have?
I'm at 2,455. All right, here's a question. Do I downgrade one of the Luggett regiments to just a rabble? And then that frees up probably 70 more points. And that gives me over 100.
You gotta have Luggets.
Well, I do I need 3? I'm asking. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you do. Without shooting, you need that brutal.
Well, let's just say we stay with that. What do I do with the 35 points? I guess one option would be to go back and say, spend 10 more of it to go to Alchemist Class 4.
Mm-hmm.
And that means it's 45 points, which means it's 100 points. So now I'm at 2465. So wait, I was wrong. I was at 45. I had 45 points to spend. So now I have 35 points left.
Mm.
All right, do we do magical artifact time? Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's look at them.
There's some commander ones, by the way. Hey, by the way, I have all these rabbles and stuff. Luggett's a Green Horde too. Do I want to just take a warlord, a bigot, to just give me rally?
That's a thought.
Because he is the first warlord. He is 105 points, and he gives rally 1 to Green Horde trait, which is basically all my infantry.
Swap him in for Grunk, and that'll give you even more points.
So 105 for that. He's still a warlord. We're going to say bigot. And see, direct misfire doesn't know. They're like, this guy sucks. I'm going to make it work, bro. I'm going to make it work.
The bigot?
Yeah, man. I'm going to make it work. All right, so now, I have 95 points now. What?
Yeah.
I mean, that's so now we have some points to maybe spend on something fun in the support category, right?
Yeah, you could get any of them. War machines. War engines.
So close to a wing it, 125 points.
You get a blaster.
Oh, 80 points for a blaster. So makeshift grenades, 12-inch blast, D3, piercing 1, boom, at the end of the turn in which this unit scores a successful hit in combat and immediately routed and removed from play. You know what? How much is the crystal pendant now? Because it's went down in points, and I think that'd be pretty awesome to have.
That would be pretty cool.
You think it's dumb? You don't like that? You don't like that? You're poo-pooing my idea?
No.
You're not poo-pooing? Okay.
No, I think that would be... It depending on what it costs.
35 points.
That is not bad.
What would I give it to, though? What unit?
Any of the rabble.
The Horde, maybe?
Does it affect everything in contact with it?
When the unit suffers a rout result, all units in the base contact with it suffer 2. So it's only going to be 2 units because you can't charge more than 2, right?
Unless they're in the flank.
Oh, good point.
An opponent might be more incentivized to double charge the front and flank charge.
1 with crystal pendant. Oh, by the way, I'm ready for the companion. Like, having to do a spreadsheet like this is dumb, dude.
Oh, yeah. I've been pulling my hair out with that one I made.
Is that right? I still have 60 points to spend. Well, I mean, Gronk gave me back like
that's right.
70 points. All right, so let's just recap. I got 60 points left to spend. I've got 2 Sharpstick Hordes, 1 with Crystal Pendant, 1 Rabble Horde, 1 Rabble Regiment, 1 Chariot Regiment, 3 Maw Beast Pack Troops, 3 Whizzes, 1 with Alchemist Curse 4, Bane Chant, and Weakness, Grupp Longnail. She's my warlord.
Mm-hmm.
And then the support is 3 Mincer Mobs. I didn't spend anything. Oh, what can I get? I think, is it 65 for a Sharpstick?
I think so.
Oh, I'm so close.
So close.
It's 65.
Bring the Alchemist Curse 4 back down to Alchemist Curse 2. And you pick up your Sharpstick thrower.
All right, so we got 2 there, and then that next I go back to 90. And now I've got 70 points to spend. Is there anything that's just straight up 70 points? You know what? Let's do this real quick. I want to see if what we have for artifacts. There's a command one now for heroes, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Torque of Command. And I could give this to one of the warlords. Command orders attempted by this unit can be issued to units within 18 inches. And then Banner of Command. When rolling to issue command order with this unit, add an additional die. Maybe give the Bigot the Torque?
Well, it has to be the Bigot or a Whiz.
Oh, because you can't give a magical artifact to Grupp. So we're going to go to the Bigot and say Torque of Command on a Whiz. Which Whiz do I... Probably the Bane Chant one or the Weakness one? Because he's going to be behind, right? He's not going to be up and about. I still have 35 points to spend.
Really?
Magical artifact time. What do we got? 35 points. Brewer's sharpness is 45. Brewer's strength is 40, so that's too much.
You need the Sir Jesse's boots on...
Sir Jesse's boots on one of these. So that means that goes to... It's 15 points now, or 15 points. So that's 555. Retaliate roll. Give it to one of the other hordes, because that means now on the reform and the counterattack, I can get Crushing Strength 1 against one of the units. You have to be engaged with 2 units.
Yeah.
Hammer of Measured Force?
If you're going to put an item on one of those hordes, that would be a good one.
But they hit on 5s.
They hit on 5s. Yeah.
I could give it to a regiment of Luggets, but they have Crushing 1, so you don't really want to do that.
No.
Let's do it. Hammer of Measured Force. It's going in. Let's go through this list. So we got 2 Sharpstick Hordes, 1 with Crystal Pendant, and the other with Hammer of Measured Force for 345 points. 1 Horde of Rabble for 130 points. 1 Rabble Regiment for 80 points. 1 Chariot Regiment for 140. 3 Maw Beast Pack Troops. And that is actually going to give me... So that's my 8 special unlocks, right? Or for champions, I guess. I've got 3 Whizzes. 1 with Alchemist Curse 2. 1 with Bane Chant. And that one's got Banner of Command, so he gets an extra dice on commands. And then 1 with Weakness. And then I've got Grupp Longnail at 185 points. And then in my support unit, I've got 3 Mincer Mobs. 1 has the Boots of Striding. So they're 50. And then the second battalion is 3 Luggets for 450 points. And I should say regiments. And 1 Bigot with the Torque of Command, which gets him cast his 18 inches away, and he's 120 points. That's the list at 2,500. That's the list you're going to play against. let's switch gears. Let's pull up your list. You only have 15 units, though. Are you even trying? I'm just curious.
Well, you'll see why here in a second.
So what are you bringing?
I went with some geckos to unlock the battalion. And this is one thing I'm kind of excited for is one of my problems all through third was the Gekkotas were overpriced. So they've come down a little bit on the warriors. I have 2 regiments of warriors and 2 regiments of hunters.
Okay. And the hunters are the shooting ones, right?
The hunters are the shooting ones. They're a little pricey, but I have them in the regiments, so I'm thinking I'll be able to utilize the feint rule a little bit.
And for those who don't remember, feint means you get to pass your withdraw nerve test for free.
Mm.
You can run away.
Yep.
And then you can reface at the end of the move any direction you want.
So the plan is, for them to kind of sneak up a little bit with their scout at the beginning, maybe absorb a charge, and then feint away while something else charges in, and then they can shoot at something else.
At Kings of Memphis next year, you could sing a song called Feint to Black. That'd be pretty sweet, right? Those who don't know, we always get the dulcet tones of Mr. Dylan Scribner on guitar and lead vocals at Kings of Memphis.
I do what I can. Specialists, 2 hordes of ceremonial guard.
They're so good, dude. And I think they're just really good now, too. I mean, defense 5. By the way, what were your special rules, your commands?
They're good. At least I think.
I'm calling right now. I'm playing a basic list, bro. Haven't you heard? We're going to have to comp this stuff, man.
Yeah, that's the word on the street. Cleansing Flame, target number 4+. Units with a flame-bound trait only. This unit gains a fireball N+2, where N is the number of successes.
Isn't that a similar one to the Abyss? Don't they have that too? Something like that?
That was basically one of our commands in the last Clash of Kings as well. Yeah. Shield of Thorlak, though. This one, target number 4+, but you need 2 successes. +1 defense. Yeah, boy. Will of the Ancients, +1 speed, but can't charge. That one's whatever. Rekindle. This one's going to be a big one. Target number 3+, very doable. Units with a flame-bound trait only. Gain life leech +N.
So that's either going to be 2 or 3. But you could take that command, that artifact, to bump that number up.
Well, we're about to see. I really like the legends. So you're starting to see now why I only have 15 units at 2,500.
How many unit strength are you at?
30 total, I think. Yeah, those heroes are expensive. But I have a Phoenix, so I got Radiance of Life.
Only one?
Only one. 2 slashers. Slashers are good, I think. My Warlord for the 1st Battalion is Ulatar.
Is he new?
He's new. He's new. 170 points, but he has an Iron Resolve aura. So.
Iron Resolve 1?
Iron Resolve 1. So, the makeup of the battle line is 2 Ceremonial Guard hordes, potentially being defense 6. Not relying on that because it takes 2 successes. But punching back with Life Leech while being supported with Iron Resolve and Radiance of Life. And then I have R-Tackle, which makes the 2 Specialist Hunters core and a Mage Priest. I have added Bane Chant and Fireball to the Mage Priest. Battalion 2 is just 2 Gekko warriors, and then I gotta have my dinosaurs. So I have Rakwas, which will give Vicious to the Ceremonial Guard.
Ooh, within 12 inches or what? Or just period?
It's Aura Vicious.
Right.
Yeah.
So 6 inches. Interesting. All right. So what did we say your unit strength was at? Like 30? Is that what you said?
I counted 30.
All right. Well, I may have to go back and tweak a little bit. I only have like 4 more units than you.
Oh, go back. Let's look at it.
No, I don't want to do it now. I'm not going to tell you. Well, I'm excited. We're gonna give it a go. We've done the whole conspiracy thing where we've taped together like this book of all the little tactics and facts and information that has been leaked, and we've scoured the internet and we've pulled all this together to maybe be able to try playing a game of 4th edition. Big shout out to the Michigan GT folks, because we got a lot of information from that about movement and army building and a lot of the special rules. So, are you excited?
I've been waiting so long for a 4th edition game, so.
It's interesting. This is the first time I actually sat down to build a list. It's a lot different than I thought. At face value, I said I could really go crazy on unit strength, but really those units would just get punched in one turn probably and die.
Yeah.
Do I want to efficiently buy unit strength by playing some hordes, or do I want number of units, right? That's going to be a real thing.
I mean, that's just one of the things we'll have to figure out, like, once we start doing 4th edition events, like what scenarios are the tournaments going to lean towards?
I hope we still do one area of effect, like a dominate or invade. Give me a loot one. Give me a bluff token. I like the bluff token ones. I think so. I like when they have a mix of them. Loot tokens, for example, progressive scoring. I like it when there's a mix. But I think you're right. At least a couple of those categories, unit strength is important in a lot of those scenarios.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts? We're gonna, we'll play a game and we'll come back and we'll report on how great my goblins vanquished. So now I may have to go back and listen to it just to make sure I have all. I mean, I'll be telling you right now, I don't have that many mincer mobs.
That's one thing I was saying a second ago. One of the things I'm excited for is I was talking about the points levels of the Gekotas. I haven't had a reason to use those units. So like I'm excited.
And you got 6 of them now.
With the way the list building was in 3rd, I had no reason to take them. They were a little overcosted, and I didn't need them to unlock stuff.
Now, with their points level, they're buying unit strength efficiently. Before we did get out of here tonight, we wanted to share Dave and Matt's also feeble attempt at making some army lists.
Here I am with long-time listener, has been away from us for a while, hasn't been within your ears, the great promoter of Rawdon Gamsey, Dave Fanning. How are you, David?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Excited for 4th. So, yeah, happy to come on today.
Yeah, you've been a busy man. I don't think you've been playing a lot, have you?
No, I've been busy with everything else. Although I have been painting. I've just finished Taran Bly, the champion from the Halflings champion book.
Oh, yeah, so nice. That's looking good.
He's ready to go. I was looking forward to seeing Rawdon Gamsey in the new Halfling list but they didn't talk about it on Nerve Check, so I'm guessing they must be leaving that one for launch day or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a special character Halfling, but it ain't Rawdon.
I know. I heard of Mama Beta or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
it could have been. It could have been Rawdon. Should have been anyway.
Yeah, and of course, big day for us today because the Ashes starts up. So very little work being done this afternoon. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's it. I'm ready to see the downfall of English cricket live on TV. So that'll be good fun.
And so, tell me, how have you been keeping up with 4th, and have you been liking what you've been seeing?
Yeah, I was actually really interested to see how Mantic were going to do their their launch hype. And I, for one, was a fan. I liked the hub that they did. I liked the articles that they did. And it's been good being able to hop on and listen to a few casts. The only thing, it's hard to try and work out who's done what. So it's been all right. A couple of group chats have been sending me links to the different other content creators out there that have reviewed certain lists. So I didn't realise the Halfling one was out until a couple of days afterwards. And then someone sent me the review to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think, I did hear on an Unplugged radio show, those guys are fairly self-effacing, and I think they said, they'll be doing an episode for their tens of listeners. So maybe there's a reason you didn't know, mate. But I think, they're getting out there now. We're doing a bit more content. So, certainly a lot more people know that they're around now. So that's good. Yeah, and anything you've particularly liked?
I am actually a fan of the way they build armies now. So the battalion idea, I think that's going to make it refreshing. Probably challenging for some armies, but I think it's actually going to be a good refresh for the game. I hadn't tried to think too hard into what sticky combat's going to do or any other minor rules that have come out. I saw, Abyssal Berserkers have that faint special rule, so I'll I think I'll just probably check out all of that when I can see all the rules instead of just looking at special rules in isolation.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, and nothing that's caught you big by surprise or that you haven't liked too much, mate?
Caught me by surprise was probably that the fat dragon in a wheelbarrow that the halflings now get. It's interesting, but without even, I just saw the photos online and I was like, what the hell have they done? Like, this could be so many other cool interpretations of how they make the rules into a mini for the halflings. But then I looked at it and I thought, I wonder if this has got something to do with Edge, considering that's where the halflings that were closely had some ties to the elves lived, considering they look like dracons. And then by the time I read about it, I was like, actually exactly what it was. So I thought it was a really good job from Mantic on their end to tie their lore into the mini releases and, have it all tie up together.
Yeah, and he doesn't need a bit more edging.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it plays, though. It looks fun, so we'll see. I definitely want to pick up some of those Drakon Rider dudes. They look fantastic.
Yeah, and I think some of these things are meant to be a bit more unique now. And so, obviously the fluff is that these are, small Drakons being nursed back to health or that aren't going to be able to fly or something like that. So, so I think it ties into the fluff nicely. But a lot of the time too, these things are also falling into the support section. So it's not like you're highly likely to see a whole bunch of them, which then also is, I guess, further reflects the fluff from them because they're meant to be, not a huge amount of them. So, I don't mind it. I mean, I same as you. It's got an interesting look about it, but don't mind them forging their own path. I say, good on them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it. They're doing their own thing, which is awesome. I guess the only thing I wish I saw that I didn't, apart from Rod and Gamzee, is I would love to see Aeron released as an STL. Like, that was the one thing the range doesn't have. It doesn't have a standalone captain on foot. Yes, you could model up a stalwart to look like that captain for you, but I think it probably deserves something unique. Considering how good the muster captain on the Aralez looks, I think it would be awesome to just get a unique muster captain on foot that we can stick in our armies. So, Ronnie, please.
Yeah. You never know. Maybe he's listening. Yeah, probably. You have to make it to Clash maybe if you want to put it to him in person though, David.
Oh, I think I need to stop talking shit about the English cricket team if I want to get anything out of Mantic, maybe as well.
That might be true. Yeah. Okay, so purpose of today is we've got an episode coming out where we look at, based on lists that have been, released to public in various ways. We're going to take you through, Dave, looking at a list that you used to run and then trying to see, does it fit the confines of the new list building scenario? Like, can you run the same army, or how much basically do you have to, deviate from what you once did? So let's do it. Let's roll into it. And so why don't you run us through, first of all, the points, what the list is, as in the faction, and then go through the whole of the list that was legal in third for us.
It was the pack. So this was the army I took to Clash of Kings this year in Australia. So it was 2,300 on the dot. However, I took the magical items out of it, considering a few of them don't exist anymore, just to see where the base. All right, we've got a horde of spear spikes. So they were 150 points. We've got 2 regiments of rifles, 2 Edge Grenadier regiments, 2 Jugger regiments. Now, I did run these with a few items and Relentless on them. Now, I think Relentless is gone from the Halfling list as well, so they'll get a bit of a rethink, I think, as well. Wild Runner regiment with black powdered weapons, an Aeronaut regiment, a Harvester, the Iron Beast with the Pride of Shires. Now, this is where things get interesting for me. I did run a muster captain on Aralez with the Strider aura, which doesn't exist anymore. I ran a sorcerer, Rawdon Gamzee, on Aralez. I had a gunnery sergeant on Troll. I finally caved and brought trolls into the list. So I had the gunnery sergeant troll hero and a muster captain on a winged Aralez as well. So if I take all the special items out of it, that sits at about 2,220. So I had about 80 points of items in there. And looking at how that looks now.
Yeah, and so how many characters we got there? We got 1, 2,
3, 4.
3, 4.
Which is what brings me unstuck, because in the new game there's 2 champions and 2 warlords. So if I do want to try and make this work,
yes, and and the way things are priced, that's going to be probably a lot more expensive than what they would have been in this list. Did you run it through just from a cost perspective at all, Dave, and to know, like, unlocks aside, how much this costs you now?
So it sits just under 2,500 points.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and the main point bump there would be in the champions and warlords, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, I do know I think the muster captain went up a fair few points.
Let's have a look at that. I can bring that up. So we have the
muster captain sits around 200 now with
250.
His upgrade.
So 250 for the winged one. Yep, instead of 195. The one on he is 175, the muster captain that you had there. And doesn't have his aura anymore. So that's up from with your aura before you had 45, 50, up from about 150. So slight increase there. Your sorcerer goes up to, where's that saucy? Sorcerer goes up from a 50 baseline to a 70 baseline. But you haven't bought that. If you bought the mount in a new list, you'd go up to 85. And then you had the gunnery sergeant on Troll.
Yeah, he goes up about 55 points as well.
Yeah, 185, so up 55. So you've certainly got a fair chunk of your increase just in your characters, don't you?
Yep, there's a big jump in the Pride of the Shire as well. I think it's just called the Iron Beast now.
Yeah.
But he gets expensive. The EJs have a slight bump as well.
Yeah, 265 versus what was your Iron Beast before?
Iron Beast before was
210 to 225 once you add it on, probably. Yep.
Yeah, 225 there.
Yeah, so 40 overall up. And then, your professional edges 120 instead of 105.
15 points, yeah.
So that's pretty much the entirety of your increase amongst those things that we just discussed, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there could be a slight bump in the Spike Horde as well. I think they went up 10 points.
Yeah. But other than that, I would say, other than the amount of characters, I would say that your list is generally well set up, I think, to translate well with having quite a few regiments.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to have to work around that Spike Horde and potentially Juggers and Unlocks. Because looking at how it looks now, so my current list has 3 core, the 2 rifle regiments and the Spike Horde. Mm-hmm. It has 5 specialists in the 2 EJs, the 2 Juggers and the Runners. It has 3 support in the Aeronauts, the Harvester and the Pride of the Shires. And then it has 2 champions and 2 warlords. So as it stands, I can't take this list. I'll probably need to drop a warlord. But then again, depending on what the points level that we play at, I'm going to have to drop something anyway to get back down to 2,300 or.
Mm. So if we're looking from an unlocked perspective, though, like if points were irrelevant, is your list working?
No, because I have 2 warlords.
True.
So from an unlocked point of view, I need that second battalion, which I can't do.
No, so you've ended up, and even if it was, but then how frequently do you unlock a champion? Can you remember that?
You get 1 with the basic battalion, and I think if you have 2, every 2 core might get you another one, but you can have up to 4 heroes in a battalion. So if my captain got downgraded to a sergeant, I think I'd be fine because I can have 4 heroes, 3 champions and 1 warlord in a battalion. I just can't have the 2 warlords. But I guess, or the other thing I do want to add though is I'm fine with this list not working as well, because it means I'm going to have to try some new stuff, work out what I like, what I don't like, and reshape the list. Yeah, I do know I want to add those 2 new units in somehow, and it made me think about other options as well.
Yeah, so the other thing is it takes basically the same things that unlock support, unlock your commanders. So if you've got 3 and 3, you can probably only have 3 commanders or champions. Because you've got a total of effectively 6 unlocking units there.
Okay. Yep. I didn't even see that. So how many specialist spots can I have?
Which the interesting thing, so you could have, so if you've got 3 core, 3 specialists, so 3 core gives you 3 specialists, then you can have, that's 6, so 3 support, but then 3 champions, which, to be honest, then, depending on which one you dropped, that'd bring you a fair way back down to the points anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then, like you said, there's a maximum of 4 if someone was spamming, the cheaper ones.
Yeah, but listening to the rules, I'm not too sure why you would just yet.
No, I don't think so. I think mostly for particular commands. So, and how impactful, but not everyone's got like the commands. I think there'll still be some variability amongst them. So.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the rules when they do come out, because there's a few juicy things that I did pick up. When they talk through the gastromancy commands, I didn't hear them mention that the brutal and the life leech were for muster only. So if they're not restricted, brutal 3 on a unit of forest trolls will be nice, or even on some aeronauts. When they change to aeronauts, I think is a big hit. But I'm still going to chuck the brutal sharpness on them and get them down to 3s for 1 regiment and see how that works as well.
So they didn't say that. So I think so they can only be issued by units with the gastromancy trait. But I don't think there's a restriction on who you're casting it on.
No. Well, I didn't hear that. I heard him say muster for the wild charge rule, but I didn't hear muster for the others. So
no, I think you're right there, mate. So there's some pretty tasty interactions, which potentially, if that's the way it ends up rolling out. So yeah. So that's interesting. So that doesn't give you too much of a feel bad having to change. I mean, it's not I guess the problem with any change is that it does have the potential to completely, offset what you might have created as what you felt was a perfect balance of units. So,
I must admit, I've avoided trolls for quite some time because I like short little men in my army, not trolls. But listening to the rules, I think I'm going to have to get a couple of troll units and maybe change my view on them a bit to get some I don't know, more efficient list rolling around as well.
Yeah, I think there's
I have
at least one troll on the vault, isn't there?
I think there might be.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I think it's the gunner, the forest troll gunner. I've got a few. I got a lot of different units made up. So, what it probably will see the end of is I don't think I'll be able to run double winged, like double captain on winged Arrowlaz. I think that'll be probably a lot of points because I'll need 2 battalions to make it work, and then 500 points alone just for the 2 warlords. So that might be a trick. It might be a trick too far, but
I guess what is interesting there too is how easily you got to those high points still within one battalion, as well.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I put 2 other lists that I had made previously through the same process. All of them were invalid because, again, I had 2 warlords or not enough core choices. I used Juggers to unlock in the past. And I ran hordes where I might have to look now at some regiments to get those cheap unlocks in. I also, but yeah, all of those lists that I did put through came out about 2,500 points, and they were 2,300 points in 3rd edition. So the bumps to characters will be noticed, I think, for some halfling players. I mean, my lists usually had 4 or so heroes in them. I ran a lot of little heroes. I used to, the sorcerer mounted, the captain mounted, engineers were in there, the troll sergeant in there, flying, captain on flying Arrowlaz as well. There was always one of them, if not 2 of them in there as well. So that's probably the biggest part of the list that's going to get reshaped for me. And if I can get enough bang out of the core in the list or not. I'll definitely be looking at Arion to make some Juggers core, and I'll look at probably getting some core relief in there with some forest trolls or forest troll gunners as well.
Yep. Yeah, nice. So I knocked together. Well, one thing is so I had multiple abyssal lists before the end of edition, and I had one that I put together when I knew that's what I first wanted to play, but I actually never played it, and then played a couple of reasonably successful lists, but I don't know, I must have deleted them from Companion. I thought they'd still be submitted to tournaments, but I can't find them. But so I'm going to run through one that I had planned to play at 2,300 anyway. So that was 2 hordes of lower abyssals, 2 troops of gargoyles, a horde of berserkers, Abyssal Horseman Regiment, Berserker Apostate, a Warlock with a bunch of spells, Zuzu, Lord of Lies, and then had the formation of the 2 regiments and the Nagari. And so the interesting thing for me there is that is nowhere near legal now. So with the there's just no way that I can unlock of all that stuff, which again, yeah, I kind of agree. I don't particularly mind. I mean, it means a bit more work before I can play it, but it's, I guess, one of my smaller armies to date that I hadn't done as many rank and file troops for yet. So literally the only 2 core in there are the lower abyssal hordes, as well as gargoyles, but they're auxiliary, so they don't unlock anything for me. So which means with only 2 core, I can only get 2 more specialist and then 2 support units. So
and 2 heroes too.
Yeah. So that's nowhere near legal. That's going back to the drawing board. So I think what I've found is with the Clash to change at 2,000 points too, which I'm potentially regretting a little bit because of the limitations, but I actually think it's creating some very interesting list choices. You really have to, you cannot have everything. I think 2,000 points in version 4 is almost more interesting than it was in 3rd with the type of choices you have to make, particularly around your characters.
Yeah, I haven't tried listing anything just yet. I think 2,000 points is probably the best. 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 2, yeah, 2,000 will be light. But then again, I don't know if that's a bad thing either, because if I was, like in your shoes, you're probably going to have to build some stuff to make 2,000 point army anyway. So yeah, it just gives you the opportunity to get some hobby in over the next couple of months as well.
Yeah, and I think some of the choices that you might have debated before, like your succubi that were low defense, but were stealthy. If people at the start aren't taking as much shooting, then like they actually get a bump up in viability. So 150 points for a regiment's not a bad shout. So, I wanted to build some of those anyway, but this will probably just bring it forward that, that I'm thinking about doing it. Yeah, or some Hellhound regiments particularly, although they're not that cheap. Or you then start looking at, don't you, what converts your list building ability at all, which as it stands in the Abyssal, I don't think there's any characters that make things move categories just yet.
Now, there was a change to the Lord of Lies, right? He doesn't turn off auras, he turns off commands now, yeah?
That's right.
Yeah, so I think he can be very relevant.
Well, he's much more, has the potential to be much more equally useful across games, right? Compared to previously. If you came up an army that didn't really have any auras or anything, then that's basically useless, but that's not going to be the case anymore.
Yeah. I've got a massive stockpile of Abyss ready to go, and I'd besides having 0 free time, put it on ice because I wasn't sure really how I wanted to build it. And I would have hooked into just hordes of lower abyssals, but I'm glad that I hadn't started it, because that's not the case now. I think I'll have some flame bearers. I'll definitely have some succubi, because I think they're going to bring a lot of value in the list. And yeah, maybe just 1 or 2 regiments of lower abyssals for now that I can stick together as a horde if I want. I can't see too many lists being viable at low points if you're going to have just 2 hordes of something, because that's a lot of points for just 2 unlocks when, I think you really want to look at trying getting 4 core choices in there. Yeah, for sure. I think it's the core tax is very real, isn't it? Having to get that in there. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So, I'm sure there'll be some people that don't like having to change their things up significantly, but I think the beautiful thing about that, particularly at the start of a new edition, is everyone's really getting to the grips with what's good again. There's all this stuff that looks really good on paper, but then does it actually play out that way on the tabletop? Yeah, that's
it. That's from a unit profile as well as combinations point of view.
You got to put a bit of faith in Mantic and Alessio and Matt Gilbert that they know what they're doing here, and what first might look like your army's been made obsolete. Well, you don't know the landscape that army's playing in either, so.
Exactly. And I think, we'll never know for sure, exactly what's in it till it's all released. So, we'll just have to wait and see. But what we do know is that they're generally prepared to try and fix problems. So, if things are a problem, I think, I've got reasonable faith that they'll try and fix them. When we had Kyle on our live stream, he basically confirmed, these invasion type books aren't necessarily going to be like exclusive to the four armies. That's if things need to be fixed, it's almost going to be like a Clash of Kings, but more and twice a year. So, but, I hope, unless something's completely bent, that they don't try and I hope they don't pull any strings too quickly, that they give things a chance to play out.
Yeah, I'm already looking forward to the second book just to see what comes out then as well. I'm not sitting there going, I've got to wait 12 months now for the next book to come out. Like, by the time I get halfway through building my army, I can start looking at what the next one will be.
Yeah, 100%. All right, mate. Well, appreciate you doing that little bit. That's going to go in with a couple of other, options of people doing the same. And so, hope you enjoy when it drops. With, I think there was something coming out from Mantic today saying, Companion will definitely be up to date. So that's good. We can all look forward to doing some more theory crafting and list crafting very, very soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thanks for your time, mate.
Thank you.
Well, cool. Final thoughts?
I'm ready. Thanks for listening, and remember, keep countercharging.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Countercharge. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at counterchargepodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at countercharge15, or by commenting on the Countercharge Kings of War podcast Facebook group. If you enjoy the show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Until next time, keep countercharging. Music is a composition of Kevin MacLeod and is licensed under Creative Commons.